friends, and thank you for joining us today for episode number 22 of A Disney Life Podcast, the place where you can come to chat about all things Disney and our Disney lives that we spend traveling to the parks, watching Disney movies, sailing Disney Cruise Line, and all other things Disney. In today's episode, it's a first for us because we actually have two guests joining us for the first time instead of just one guest. These friends of ours recently sailed on a 7-night Western Caribbean sailing on board the Disney Treasure. And these are friends that I met years ago back in an online forum, just like I met Rachel. And they're part of a group that we travel with every year called the Ladies of Leisure. I first met both of these ladies back in 2013 on board our first ever Ladies of Leisure sailing when there were 27 of us who gathered together. And I've lost track at this point how many ladies there are that are part of our group because we don't always all get together every year, but we do our best we can to do that. And it's always a good time full of lots and fun. So I hope you'll stick around to join me and both of our guests today. To make things easy, they both have the same name. They're both named Jess. So easy for you to remember, possibly confusing for us as we chat through things today, but stick around to hear about their 7-night Western Caribbean Disney Treasure sailing. So this Disney Treasure sailing that Jess traveled on took place in September of 2025. So the Disney Treasure at this time is still the newest ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet. To both of the Jesses, had either of you sailed on the Treasure prior to this sailing, or was this your first time on this specific ship?
So this was my first time on this specific ship, so it was exciting.
It was my first
And
time on
Jess
the
J,
Treasure.
same for you. Was it your first sailing? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. Now, I know both of you do have quite a bit of Disney Cruise Line experience because I've sailed with you both a few times before. And I know you're loyal to the Ladies of Leisure group, so you have a lot of experience. Later on in the podcast, maybe we'll get into comparison between the Disney Treasure and some of the other ships and what your feelings are between that. But let's just first start off with your experience leading up to the arrival day. I know that when we're traveling with a group, there's a lot of planning that goes into it. Did this particular trip start at the port, or did you guys meet up ahead of time?
Do you want to take this one or me?
We met up at the Riviera. We met up
At the Riviera. Okay, so you got together and had dinner at Disney World at their Riviera Resort the night before. That's fun. That's a fun way to get things started and kind of to get to see everybody before you get on the ship. And then how did you get from your resort that you were staying at the night before to the cruise port? Did you use Disney's transfers, Jess F., or did you do a private transfer?
There was 4 of us staying at the Riviera, and we decided it was easier to do the transport to the port. And plus, that gave us an earlier boarding group than, say, driving there ourselves.
Yeah, that's always a great tip. I think we've talked about that here on the podcast before, that if you opt to use Disney Cruise Line's transfers, you're going to have an earlier boarding group than if you just travel to the port on your own. And of course, with an earlier boarding group, the fun starts even sooner. So that's one reason we highly recommend that. So do you remember what boarding group you were? Was it number 3? It was a pretty early one like that, right?
Yeah, I think we were 6, weren't we, Jess?
5. We were 5.
5. Okay. Jess is saying 5. I think she might be having a microphone issue right now. Okay. You were boarding group 5. All right. So that gets you on pretty quickly then. Did you have any trouble when you got to the port, or was it a pretty smooth process there at Port Canaveral, Jess J?
It was smooth. They actually had us go through security before we checked in. Like, they were doing some of the buses going through security and then going upstairs to check in, and then some doing the check-in downstairs and then going through security. So it made it a lot easier.
Okay. So that sounds like a good way to kind of double up on it and speed things along then, it seems.
So do you think there were
Yes.
more people, considering that you two have cruised quite a bit with Disney Cruise Line, that sounds like maybe a occupation or, a capacity issue.
Way to
was
kind
like
of to
5
move
buses.
people along.
Yeah, to
faster,
kind of
it
get the
seems, through
lines
there.
going.
Yeah, there was like 5 buses that got there at the same
Yeah,
time as
okay.
us.
Yeah,
Oh,
plus
wow.
there was some leaving already when we were pulling up.
All right. So some guests had already gotten there and were inside the terminal. And then you guys arrived at the same time as about 5 other buses. So it must be a procedural thing that they do to be able to speed things through and not have busloads of people there. So that's good to know. Once you were on board, what did you do first? Do you guys have a customary thing that you always do first? Or is it kind of everybody on their own when you're first on the ship?
Usually we all go straight to the sit down restaurant and eat those empanadas.
So on the Treasure, then that was in Plaza de Coco, correct? Is
Yeah.
Yes.
where you'd have those. All right. So that's what you did that day then, was
Mhm.
everybody gathered for and what was your experience as far as having them be able to seat everybody in your group? Were you all able to be together pretty much at that point?
We didn't have all of us. I mean, we had like, I'd say half of us, and we were all seated at 3 tables, like right next to each
Okay.
other.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. In my experience with them, they do a great job trying to keep you together, even in a situation like that. That's just, come as it's convenient for you for lunch. It's not like with dinner time that has a seated, assigned table. So that's nice. It seems to me to be a much more leisurely way to start than to start up in the buffet area where you're hunting for tables. So
Yes.
smart choice with a group of that size. Do you happen to remember offhand how many traveled this year on the sailing?
Yeah, there was
I think
23 of us.
23. All right. That's a
Wow.
good sized group too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first day, of course, was the sail away day. Did you guys do anything special for the sail away party? Were you up on deck, or how did that go?
Yeah, we made it like right at the end.
Yeah, we did. I forgot where we were beforehand. I think we might have went to Tammy's room. And
Yeah.
then
All right. So let's get that tidbit out of the way real fast. When they say they went to Tammy's room, we've all chatted with Tammy here on the podcast before. So our friend Tammy was a part of this group, and she was actually sharing a pretty spectacular suite with some other members of the group. So a new thing that they've started with the Wish class, and now they've been revamping some of the original ships with it as well, is to have a suite in one of the funnels. So this was a space that on the Dream and Fantasy used to be the location for Edge, the Tween Club, and also what was called Outlook, which was a private space that guests were able to reserve for private functions. On the Wish and Treasure, and soon to be Destiny, there is a suite in that funnel area called the Tower Suite. And then the Dream has one now as well. And very, very soon, the Fantasy will have one also. So I have a feeling you ladies spent a lot of time in that suite, which is a very fun thing about group cruising. When you're in a group and you have somebody in that room that is generous enough to open that to everybody, it adds in a lot of fun. So I can see how you would lose track of time spending time in that glorious suite. And really, that wouldn't be a bad place to be for sail away.
Yeah, you probably had a good view. You just needed to pipe in some music and
yeah, that would have been great.
yeah.
So I know I've heard some people, I'm assuming jealous people who haven't actually experienced it, knocking that type of suite in particular because there is no balcony. And I understand some people's desire to want the fresh air, but the views that you have from those suites, from that suite in
Mhm.
particular, I say those because it's on multiple ships, but there is only one per ship because it really takes up that entire space of that funnel. The views from there are pretty spectacular. So then you headed out of the suite, out on deck a bit for sail away.
Yeah, we caught like
Yes.
the tail end.
And then for your dinner the first night, do you remember what restaurant you were in that first evening?
Yeah, we were in Worlds of Marvel.
Okay. Now, have you both been on the Wish before, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it's a pretty comparable experience to that on the Wish, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
Same
you
menu.
notice anything different at all, better or worse about either of the experiences?
For some reason, for me, I thought this Worlds of Marvel dinner was a lot better than the Wish.
Okay.
Is it?
Maybe,
The
maybe
food
not.
was.
Could it just
It was
been the
just I
day?
ate the same food, but it was. I just felt like it
Okay.
was better.
Okay. So you mean it was prepared better, or like the overall experience with the show was better, or just a
Probably just I did the food. Maybe I remember the food tasting better. Well, the food tasted better now than it did when I was on the Wish.
okay? I think
Yeah.
sometimes on the 7 night sailings, the dining experiences tend to be more enjoyable because you don't have that pressure to like hurry up and enjoy it all at
Mhm.
once. When you're on a 7 night sailing, you're going to have the opportunity to return to each of the rotational dining restaurants. It's not like when you're on a 3 night sailing on the Wish and I have to take it all in tonight and eat all I can because this is going to be my only opportunity.
Yeah.
We still ate all we could every
So
night though.
oh, yeah.
There was
Well, that is the correct way to do it.
Yeah.
a lot of meals being shared, a lot of dessert.
The great thing about traveling with a group, because as
Mhm.
we all know, Disney Cruise Line is so generous, offering you multiple entrees if you request them. But I feel terrible when I want to taste something and they bring you the entire meal and then you just can't eat it. You really enjoy the few bites that you had, but you can't have it all. So when you're
Yes.
traveling with a group
Mhm.
like that, it gives you the opportunity to kind of split things off and everybody have a little bit of a taste of everything if they want.
Yes.
So that's a lot of fun, I think, when traveling with the group. So did you guys go out and about on board that night, or was it mostly shenanigans in the tower suite?
I mean, there were shenanigans in the Tower Suite every night, but that was after the events.
Okay, so what happened the first night? Was there a show or anything you went to, or trivia, or what did you do that first night?
Well, probably definitely trivia,
Yeah, there was
like every
trivia,
night.
but which trivia was which night, I'm not gonna remember.
I don't remember either.
So a lot of trivia. You're a lot of
Yeah.
smart ladies, is what you're telling me. Did you come away with any first prize medals for trivia during the week?
Some of us did.
Yeah, as a group, yes, we
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what that was for? Was it a music trivia or?
I think
Hey,
we
I don't
did
think
get a couple music trivias. I
I
do
think
know
so.
that Joanna got the first trivia, like the first trivia of the cruise. She won that one.
All right. That was a good way to start things off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, a 7-night sailing, you had a couple of sea days and a couple of days in port. So, waking up that first morning, was that a day at sea, I'm assuming?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Okay. And did you have anything special on your itinerary for that day, or was it just a relaxing day on board?
Yeah, it was pretty much a relaxing day on board. I know my mother had us up every morning to see the sunrise.
Oh, wow. Like every single morning?
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much. So just as a background, there was 4 of us in a room, and my
Mm.
mom and Jess and one of our other friends. Yeah, she had the alarm go off pretty much whenever sunrise was.
I'm sorry. What kind
It's
of room
okay.
was it with 4 of you in a room?
No, it's all good because I enjoyed it too. Some mornings the sunrise just is beautiful.
Yeah.
What
There was
type of stateroom did you have?
the extended veranda on the back of the ship.
Oh,
So
that's
like a
I remember that
4E.
about you guys. You like the aft facing rooms all the way aft. Yeah, the 4Es. Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. That gives you a lot of nice outdoor space too. And I would imagine it also helps with seeing the sunrise because you
Mhm.
don't have to worry about being on the opposite side of the ship that it's on. You could
Yes.
look out in either direction. So that's pretty perfect. Uh, you know, I do usually make it a point on most sailings to try to get up and see the sunrise once. I
7 times.
wouldn't normally do it every day on a 7-night sailing, especially when I would imagine you were out late night with trivia and dancing and the other
And
activities
the
on
tower
board. So
suite the tower suite. You could go watch the sunrise in the towers.
it's true.
Well, we're not gonna wake up the people who are letting us party in their suite. We're not gonna do
True.
that.
So you didn't just fall asleep in there. I feel like I would end up like having a sleepover. Everybody bring your blanket and a pillow because as we know, Mickey doesn't care where you sleep once you're on
Yes.
board, as
Yep.
long as you know where your safety
Right.
station is and where to get to in case of an emergency. So, I mean, we'd be on the couches, like all over the place, like, big
We
party all
probably could
night
have fit
and
all
watch the
23 of us
sunrise
in
and
there.
then nap all day.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty incredible giant room, that's for sure.
Yes.
All right. So dinner the first or the second night. Do you remember where that was?
Yeah,
was
so
at
that was
Coco,
second
right?
night is formal night. Yep, it was Coco, yep.
Okay.
Formal night. And did you guys dress up for it or were you just more casual or what was the group feeling on that this time?
I had a formal dress. I brought one.
I appreciate that. I like seeing people dress up, especially on the 7-night sailings. On a shorter cruise, I can understand maybe you don't, you aren't hauling as much luggage with you or whatever. But when you're doing
Mhm.
7 nights, it's nice to see everybody get all dressed up. So that's a lot of fun. And was it another night in the dining room with just basically ordering every entree and and tasting it all?
Yeah,
So, was there anything that sticks out in your mind as being a particularly good dish that night or dessert or anything like that? Or
I
They
wish
blend together.
I know they
did
all
you
blend
guys?
together.
Like, we need our
So,
list.
basically, all good food all the time, every night
We
is
did.
what I'm hearing.
So basically, Jess and I had a list of things we liked, and then
Okay.
I had some things, she had some things, and all right, you like this, but so that's how we kind of figured out what to order.
So before the cruise, we each went through the menus and made a list of
Yeah.
everything that we wanted to try from each restaurant. And then we compared them. So whatever was common, we would just order one of.
Wow,
Okay.
that's
That
a solid plan, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that. That's
That's
thorough.
dedication and devotion too. I don't know that I like to be surprised.
Nope.
Oh, no, I agree.
There's
I always look at menus ahead of time too when I'm able, but that's quite a commitment to not only look ahead of time and compare them, but then also remember what you had determined when you look
there's a
through it.
whole list.
So,
There was a notepad list.
well done.
Hmm.
So you were carrying your notepad with you to dinner?
On the phone, like the note app.
Okay, yeah.
That's perfect. Perfect.
Yes.
How close were you to the stage?
We were
Right at
right
it.
there.
Okay. How
And
how was the show? Because we've talked about Arendelle. Arendelle's not our favorite here.
No,
Mm-mm.
So
no,
For the
Coco.
record, I love Frozen. I did not enjoy
Mm.
the loud interactive dining experience at Arendelle. When
Awesome.
I dined at Coco last December, I enjoyed it, but I was so close to the stage that I felt almost awkward taking my eyes off of the performers to eat. Like I felt rude, like I was ignoring them. And I know that's what you're supposed to do there. So it was just me. Like it was no fault of Disney's. But I was like, this guy's right. He's like looking right at me with his guitar. I can't look down and start eating some chips right now. You know what I mean? How rude is that? But I have a
just
feeling
hungry, Missy. Like you're just you're just torturing him at that
like
point.
chomping away and he's out there singing along. And
Instead of just share the
I do
tip.
appreciate the
Yeah.
entertainment during dinner, I think, helps out with some little kids, but I think it also adds like a huge distraction to everything that dinner could be.
Yeah.
I enjoy
Yes.
a more relaxing dining experience. So I'm
I-
assuming you went out and did some trivia or saw some shows or something that night also.
Yeah, I think that
Yes.
night was Match Your Mate. So
Oh,
that's always a good one.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's
so
early
if
in
you
the cruise for a is that early in the cruise for a Metro Mate? I don't know. I always feel like that's
I
towards the
don't
end.
know on a 7 night. I know they did it twice.
Oh,
They
okay.
did it
Well,
twice
they did
because they
another
have Match
version
Your
another night.
Matey
Yeah.
on
So
Pirate
was
Night.
that a pirate theme?
It was a
Was that a
pirate theme,
pirate
yeah.
night? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. That makes sense. Yeah, I think they usually do match your mate pretty early on because I could remember a few sailings when you would recognize couples afterwards on the ship and you feel like
Mhm.
you just keep seeing them and you're like, I know about you.
Oh yeah.
For anybody who hasn't sailed with Disney Cruise Line or participated in being in the audience for Match Your Mate is kind of like a dating game show where they'll have a new couple, a more experienced couple, and then whatever couple in the audience has been together the longest. And they bring you up on stage and they'll take half of the couple away and ask their remaining partner some pretty specific questions about their lives together. And it can get a little bit silly, and it is for adults only. So you can kind of get a wild crowd in there sometimes and be pretty entertained usually. So Match Your Mate's a great way to start. And that happens in an area that is for adults only on all of the ships. And it's a later in the evening thing. So it's not something that you need to worry about your kids attending with you also. So, all right. At what point is the ship going to be in a port? Did you have another sea day or were you in
No.
port the next day?
Next day was port.
Okay. And where were you that day?
Cozumel.
Very
Okay.
nice.
Yes, Cozumel, Mexico.
All right. So did you spend the day off of the ship or were you on board for the day?
On board.
So
Okay.
so you treated this as Nassau, basically, is what you're
Mhm.
saying. Okay.
Okay. So did you have something like in particular you wanted to do on the ship that day or you just stayed on board because you didn't really care to tour anywhere in Cozumel?
Nope. Yeah, we stayed on board. I know I had a mission to get pictures with I think they call her I don't know if they call her Adventure Minnie. So Minnie is in a specific outfit on this ship. And that was like my
I
one character goal.
I think that's correct. I think they call her Adventure Minnie on the Treasure, which is confusing because there
Yes.
is going to be an adventure ship and she's not on that. But yes, and that is a really cute outfit. I know the one that you're referring to. So, and where
Yeah.
did that meet and greet happen? Was that in the Grand Hall or did they have her somewhere else?
Yeah, so she was in the Grand Hall. So basically, Jess and I, we hearted in the app every time Minnie was out, and we would like run to check to see what outfit she was in because they don't tell you what outfit she's in. And then at some point during that day, she was in that outfit, and I think it
Okay.
was on like deck 5 on the side, like off to the side. in the
Like
grand hall.
overlooking the
Yeah.
main hall area of the grand hall.
Yes.
Very good. So, what Jess means when she says she hearted something in the app is if you're using the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app, it'll give you a whole list of all of the activities. It can be confusing and overwhelming, not because it's not user friendly, but because there are so many things. So it does give you the opportunity to mark it as a favorite by selecting the little heart, and then it'll give you, did it give you reminders, Jess? Or
Mhm.
so you would know when it was time for something you had said, like, hey, notify me about this, right? Yeah. So I think that helps a lot because it's easy to lose track of time on a ship. I know it seems like these ladies sat around in a gorgeous suite all day and did nothing, but I'm sure they were very busy around doing a lot of things. So it helps to be able to mark those things ahead of time in your phone. Were there any other notable characters that you saw out and about, or pretty much the same ones as usual? Just, I think they're pretty much all day long out there in the Grand Hall. There's somebody you can meet.
Yeah, they had, not on this particular day, but I think they had, Genie out and Aladdin, probably because the grand hall is themed to Aladdin.
Okay.
I want to add a note. If you're listening, you've never gone on a Disney cruise before, you will be amazed at how many characters you see. It is just almost like a constant barrage of characters that you can find out and about, especially when the day that you're boarding the ship on your very first day. There are so many characters out to just say hi to. Daisy snuck up on me once while we were out just walking around the ship. It's really fun. So don't think that if you're trading the parks for a cruise that you're going to miss out on a lot of these Disney magic moments because they are absolutely there.
I think it may actually be easier to meet characters on a ship than it is
Mhm.
at the park sometimes.
I agree. A lot less walking to get to them, that's for sure.
It's true.
I met Peter Pan in
The
the
hallways
wild
may
one
seem
day.
long. You saw who, Jess?
Peter Pan in the wild. Like I was just walking
Mhm.
around
Oh,
and
wow.
he snuck up on me.
That's fun. That's a lot of fun. Those unplanned moments, I think, are the most exciting ones when they're just out and about, enjoying the ship just like you are. So, other than meeting Minnie Mouse that day, was there anything else notable before the evening hours or no?
I'm sure there was more trivia.
Definitely.
We apologize if your family sailed on this sailing with these ladies of leisure because it seems like they attended and dominated pretty much every trivia session on board. But,
Half the room every
they're a
time.
smart gang, so I guess you'll have that. All right, so it seems like you must have had dinner in 1923 that night. Is that correct? If I'm following
Yes.
along correctly?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. 23 is pretty much exactly the same as the 1923 you'll find on the Disney Wish and that we will see on the upcoming Disney Destiny. It takes you back to the heyday of Hollywood. You'll see a lot of artifacts on display from the start of the Walt Disney Company, which was in 1923 and where the name came from. So, anything notable in there? Did you have your list prepared for dinner that night? And did we have any favorites?
I don't particularly remember anything that stuck out to me. I think it was steak. I think it was the filet night. It was for
Yes.
me, it was all right.
You
We
like
have
the French
people who
fries?
just love these ships and want to sail for the food, and you guys can't even remember what you ate. But I guess you'll have that with the 7-night sailing. I feel like there may have been beverages consumed as well, and maybe we're asking the wrong question here. We should be asking, what did you have along with your dinner that
I was
night?
gonna say I still have my food list. Let me see.
Look, we have the food list. It's just in the phone.
I also want to note there is no show at 1923,
Mm-mm.
so it is definitely a lot better to socialize at, I think, and makes for a calmer dinner, in my opinion.
Yes, it's definitely the more relaxing, more traditional main dining room experience, I feel. Did you happen to notice anybody on your sailing dressing as if in the 20s attire, the 90s attire? I know that was a thing when the Wish first started sailing, and I haven't really seen much of that since then.
I don't.
No,
I don't know. There might have been a few I saw walking around, but
I think that kind of fizzled out pretty quickly.
mhm.
It was a cute idea, but it just didn't really take off. It's funny. You can't dress theme for a restaurant, but people hide ducks all over the place and you can't get them to stop. You never know what trends are going to catch on, I guess. All right. So, how about the next day? Were you in port again or out at sea that next day?
We were in Grand Cayman that day, and yes, well, we did get off.
Okay. I guess it's safe to say that you guys really don't mind cruising because you're fine days
No.
on end being on the ship, and that's okay. You don't need to step on land. So, in Grand Cayman, did you have an excursion planned or were you just out on your own checking out the port?
We planned an excursion for Grand Cayman since we'd never visited before. So we went through Disney. We took the excursion. There was a group of us, probably maybe 10 of us, 10 or 12 of us in the group. It was like a Grand Cayman highlights tour.
Okay,
So
and what kind of things what did you see on that?
so they took us on a little bus and we stopped at a little beach where we could see the ship from this little beach. Then we went to the main highlight of this tour was going to hell in Grand Cayman.
I've heard of that. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so you stayed on the ship for days and then you got off the
Yep.
ship and went to hell. Okay,
we
this
came
is
back.
sounding great.
Is this Mr. Toad? Like, are we?
And I've seen some photos. I have not been there myself. I've been to Grand Cayman, but I have not been to hell or back. But I've seen photos online, people with signs that, point this way to hell, that kind of thing. It sounds like a fun, silly little thing to
Yeah, it
photo
was a fun
opportunity.
little thing. We took photos. You could send a postcard that I just got it. I think we just got it a week ago or two.
So it's postmarked from hell?
Yep, it's postmarked from hell. We also stopped before we went there, we stopped at a rum distillery. So that was
Okay.
kind of cool. They had little samples if you wanted one, like a little tiny shot or half, like a quarter of a shot, and some rum cake that you could have.
Okay.
So
right.
get you liquored up before you go to hell.
Yeah, right, exactly. And we stopped at a little outdoor mall that had this observatory that you could see over the island a little bit. So we wandered around there.
And what type of transportation did they use to get you around the island?
It was like a
Like, was
little
it-
bus
Okay.
that fit probably like 20 people.
Okay. All right. That seems like a pretty decent sized group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you said about half of your group went on this one.
Yeah, I think there was about 12 of us, 10 or 12 of us.
I appreciate that. I think if you are paying for your trip, with a group of 23, there's no way you can do everything together. So go and enjoy your trip.
Yeah, we
different-
kind of like post and be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this tour. If you guys want to join, go for it. And so that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, it works out great with
Uh-huh.
the group cruises that we do because there seems to be something for everyone. I'm sure there were people who wanted to stay on board more that day. There were, your group going out. Do you know if there were any other excursions that day or was that the only one that the group did?
I think there was a group that hired a private yacht or not a yacht or boat or catamaran. I don't know what you call
Like a
it.
catamaran or pontoon or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and they
I
went out.
think I
and-
remember seeing that too, some type of snorkeling or
Mhm.
something like that. They did.
Yep, and stingrays and something
Right.
to that effect.
Okay. Very fun. So then were you back in Worlds of Marvel for dinner that night?
So it was pirate night and we were still in 1923.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they kept us in 1920, I think, for pirate night. Or
Okay.
was it Worlds of Marvel? Oh no, I didn't write that in my notes.
Or did you go to Palo that night? Because I know this group usually does Palo and it's often pirate night. At least it has been in my experience with you guys.
Yeah, so there was some of our group that went the previous night in Palo, and then there was some that went on pirate night. I don't know what happened. There was something with the reservation, so they had to split the group up. But
I see.
Jess and I did not go to Palo dinner.
You stuck with the main dining room and
Yeah.
the list of all of the food, of which we have forgotten
I just
most
tried
of.
it all.
Pirate night, I think so. Pirate night is my least favorite menu, and
Mhm.
I think Disney needs to
You're
change
not
it up.
alone there. You're not alone there. Yeah.
So, I
And then
wrote that on the comment card, so hopefully they do something.
So if we see a change in the menu for Pirate Night, we have you to thank for that. So good to know. I appreciate your efforts there.
Yeah, I think there was a few of us that thought that. We're like, yeah, it's okay. It's not like terrible, but it's just every ship has it. Every pirate night
Mhm.
hasn't changed
And
from what I can remember.
Considering there's the shows at night too, I think people need to realize that they kind of do for me, it seems like they're doing an easier meal. You also notice this on longer sailings, like your last meal of the ship all kind of seems to be like something that could be thrown together really quickly because they've got a big turnover to do the next day. So they're usually pretty busy. But yeah, so this is something that I think they're trying to get you out of the dining room.
Yeah.
I kind of always feel like they're trying to get me out of the dining room.
That's true.
But it could be because we're the kind of people that go in there with lists of food and try it all. They're like,
Yep.
what are these people leaving?
Yeah, and we were in Marvel, not 1923. Sorry. I just looked
Okay.
at my pictures real quick.
Okay, very good. All right, so the next day, were you back out to sea again, or did you have a third day in port?
Yeah, we were in Jamaica.
Okay.
Okay.
And did you stay on the ship that
No,
day?
we didn't.
What? You didn't?
No, we went out. So there was a group of us, probably 10 of us again, that just stayed in the little port area off the ship. That's like fenced in, has a bunch of little shops. They had people dancing.
Where'd you say you were?
Falmouth, Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then there was another group that, which in hindsight now I kind of wish I did that. Was they went to the Dun River Falls?
I've seen some. I saw some of their photos of that also, and that looked like a lot of fun. It did
look
not
like a lot of fun.
So it looked like something you would love. I know you're very
I know.
athletic. You love running. I feel like I would have gotten there and been sliding off the rocks and it would have gone very poorly. So again, it's a good example of how when we do group activities like this, there's something for everyone that I probably would have hung back at port for that day. But you never know. Maybe someday I'll try it. I haven't done that in Jamaica yet.
Yeah.
Have you been to Jamaica before?
No, so that was the first time for Jamaica for me, and I think for Jess too. Grand Cayman too was a first for us.
So when you didn't get off the ship in Cozumel, it wasn't because you just didn't want to be there. It was because you had been there before.
Yeah, we had went once, did an excursion, and it was enough for us. We're like, okay. And it lucked
understandable.
out because it poured that day too in the afternoon.
Oh.
But yeah, it was beautiful weather in Grand Cayman and Jamaica.
Okay, very good. So back on board then for that night.
Mhm.
I've lost track on what night we're on. Is this 4 or 5?
Day 5 now.
5. Wow, we're flying
Wow,
along
I
here.
know.
Was this back at Coco?
Yes, we're back in Coco for night 2.
So I just, out of curiosity, what happens with the show on your second time around? Is it the same show? Do they mix it up?
Nope. So the second show is different. So the first show they're preparing to celebrate. I forget what it's. Dia de las Muertes. Did I say that right? I don't know.
Yes.
Day of the Dead.
The Day of the Dead.
So
yes.
That's the first night, and then the second night is the actual celebration.
Okay.
So that was probably my favorite show. That was better than the first night. And then I also wrote down that the food was my favorite that night.
Okay. I was going to ask if the food was better the second night or the first. So I think they kind of save all of the better things for later in the cruise, maybe with all of the meals on all ships, really.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything notable that was your actual, like, the favorite thing, or just overall?
So one thing I think was kind of a standout for me, which is like the pepper. I think it was the blistered pepper. I wasn't quite sure how that was going to be, but it was actually really good.
All right. Good to know.
And they had the churros that night for dessert.
Oh, yummy. Yeah. Those look delicious. Where was lunch typically when you were on board? Did you head to Marceline's? Did you pull food?
So we did a bunch of different stuff. One day we did did we do a sit down? No, we didn't. We did a sit down breakfast. That's what I was thinking. One day we had lunch in the funnel suite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they ordered room service lunch for us, and then couple days we tried Marceline's, and there was even one day we did both Marceline Market for lunch, and then Jess and I went out and get like tacos on deck at Donald's Cantina. So that food on deck is really good. So we tried to switch it up every day.
I think overall the food on the Treasure is excellent, and while I know we haven't had anything super exciting to say about a specific meal in the dining rooms, there is no shortage of food on the ship. You can find food all over the place all day long. And I love the, like you mentioned, they have the tacos out there at the cantina. There's a lot of food out there, quick service at the pool area, more so than there used to be. If you haven't sailed a Disney Cruise Line in a few years and you haven't experienced a Wish class ship, then you're missing out on what all of those food options are, because they do a great job with having a variety for you there. So you had mentioned you had ordered food in the suite, and that's something many guests may not know. If you're in one of these larger royal suites, the higher level of suites, you are able to have food delivered right to your room. Even from Palo, they bring things sometimes, right? I think I saw a video with some of the Mickey churro waffles in the suite. Were you a part of that experience? So tell me, I'd like to hear from each of you here. Do you prefer the regular Mickey waffles, the classic regular ones we're all used to, or do you prefer the churro Mickey waffles?
It's tough. I think on the ship, I think I prefer the churro Mickey waffles.
Okay. And do you put syrup on those too, or are they sweet enough for you just as they are?
I put syrup on them.
You put syrup on. How about you, Jess?
I just put butter.
Just butter. Okay. But you like the churro ones better than the regular ones?
Yes, because I'm not a fan of a churro or of a Mickey waffle, but I'll eat a churro Mickey waffle.
So that's the magic combination for you then.
Yes,
Do you remember, did they have those twice while you were on the 7-night, or was it just once?
this one.
Okay.
But then we had it special.
Yes.
So technically
So
we
we've
had
had
it
it twice.
twice. But
They had it twice.
Okay.
But I think so what I've heard they're doing most recently, and of course this could change or could be inaccurate because I haven't tested it on every single ship.
It will
but I
change
believe
tomorrow, Missy. It will change tomorrow.
It'll change. But Rachel and I say things, we record things, and then the next day we see it change. We're like, we're going to sound clueless and full of misinformation because they change things out on us and outdate us. But customarily, what I've seen Disney Cruise Line do is have the churro Mickey waffles the morning of your last full day on the ship. So on a 7-night sailing, it'll be your Friday. Well, if it's a Saturday to Saturday sailing, it's going to be Friday morning. You would have them. Do you have any idea? Is that what they did for you guys, or was it in the middle of the week?
It was our second sea day.
yeah,
It was the same day as
Oh, okay.
Palo.
Okay. All right. So I'm already wrong. So that's perfect. So I guess you just need to go to the buffet every day and find out if they have them or not. We have no tip for you on that.
I
Nothing
just
is
need to find out
They know,
what day
maybe they
I
know
have
when they're
Palo,
served.
and that's when it'll be.
and
It
you'll
never
miss it.
fails.
That's the deal.
No, I will not miss it. I will still get it.
You'll do them both, huh?
Yeah, you just go
Luke
early.
and I have rope dropped the buffet in our pajamas to each have one Mickey churro waffle before brunch.
Well, you can't go in there starving or you may overdo it. So you have to, got to pace yourself into it. So it sounds like you're doing it the right way. Yeah. What day did you have Palo?
That
Our
second sea day.
Second sea day.
Okay. So that's our next day, right? That's what we're on now. Okay. I was going to say, I think I missed it somehow, but I didn't. All right. And was it brunch?
Yes.
Okay.
And
So
did
tell
you
us
order pizza?
We ordered pizza.
Okay.
all of the pizza. They had a list of the pizzas.
Oh yeah.
So I'm assuming you were prepared for this as well. Was there a list going into this, or do you have your favorites there that you just know you get every time, or what was the experience there?
There's favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So
what are your favorites?
what is it for you, Jess?
I like the chicken parm. It's my second
Mhm.
favorite chicken parm from anywhere. There's a local place that's my favorite, but that's the second favorite. And then I've recently started liking lasagna. And then I get my oops pizza, I call it. They made it wrong the first time I went to Palo ever. And so now I order it that way every time I go.
Well, tell us more about that.
Yeah.
What is it?
So it was originally like a 4-cheese pizza, and it had certain cheeses on it that I didn't like. So I asked them if they could make it with just mozzarella and Parmesan cheese, but meaning to also have the sauce on it. And they brought it out with no sauce, just Parmesan and mozzarella cheese.
So like a white pizza. Okay.
And that's the most delicious pizza I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
So I now
This may
order
need to
it.
be on our list, Missy. We may need to try an oops
Have
pizza.
that. Rachel and I have a list too. You guys aren't the only ones with a list. And we started a list of things that we've discovered through chatting here with our Disney friends that either one or the other of us hasn't done. So we want to experience them together. So at some point,
Well,
we're
I
going to be
can
doing some big event and everybody's going to go try all the things.
I can make a suggestion for a dessert also,
Well,
but not
let's
from
hear it.
Palo. It's a Mickey bar, but you have to get it with Hershey syrup, Mickey sprinkles, and whipped cream on top.
And you get that in the dining room?
Yes.
Okay. I've had them put
Ex-
sprinkles on it before. And when you pick up the Mickey bar, they just fall right off.
Yes.
You
I
know, it
don't.
looks cute, but so I guess the chocolate syrup is going to make them stay there as well as the whipped cream, right? They'll stick to it.
I just crunch it up and eat it like in the bowl. Yeah.
All right. Good to know. So, Jess F., what was your Palo experience? Anything remarkable there that you had that day?
I love the chicken parm, and
Okay.
I always like the soup too, the tomato soup that they have.
So,
I've never ordered soup there for brunch. I'm usually eating so
I
much of
always
everything
do.
else.
And the eggs Benedict is usually pretty good.
Mhm.
And then I'm a big fan of the sticky bun.
I'm trying to remember the sticky bun.
I think it's a dessert.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when they used to have the buffet, it was part of the buffet.
Okay. All right. Very good. Nobody had the grape gorgonzola pizza?
Oh no, that was on our table.
You had that too? Oh,
So we had to split our group up to multiple tables for brunch, but we were the only
right.
ones who brunched correctly because the other tables ordered like one pizza for their table or like just a couple of entrees because our server was like, oh, for the amount of people you have, you can order like 2 pizzas. We ordered like, what was it, 5?
Yeah, there were 6 of us, I think.
There were 6 of us and we ordered 5 pizzas and devoured them.
I mean, they're not giant and they're
Yeah.
thin crusts. They're thin.
Then
Until
we
they
also
tell me
ordered
that
all
I
the
can't
entrees,
do it.
right?
Yeah, that's right, Rachel. Until they say you can't, you just keep going. They'll let you know if you take it too far, maybe. Or
I
they're
don't
just
think there
talking
is
about
such a
you in the
thing as
back.
too far. On a cruise, there's no such thing as too far.
That's
No,
true.
not at all. Yeah, you've paid for that food. They don't punch your card to say you can't have lunch again if you've already had it.
I didn't reach my credit limit.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you need to do after brunch? Go lay down for a while and take a nap? Because that's what, after being up for the sunrise every day and constantly eating, I would have been sleeping every afternoon, I think.
I tried to, I think. Probably
don't
went to
think you
another trivia, probably went to something.
Yeah.
Usually we went from trivia, basically it was trivia to trivia to trivia, unless there was a character in the middle, then we went there.
Well, yeah, we would like rearrange things to go to trivia. Like when we had the lunch in the suite, in the tower suite, we were originally going to meet for one time, and then we had to rearrange everything because there was trivia happening. And it was the only time that trivia was happening the whole cruise.
I'm surprised you didn't have them come in and present your own trivia for you.
I mean, that would be
That's
on the
not a
list.
bad idea. Who do we contact?
We'll get Tammy on that.
I don't know, Rachel. Put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
Rachel and I we're going to have a special episode coming up this spring that we're going to record actually from one of the
Oh, nice.
tower suites. It will be on the Disney Destiny. So we'll give that a try. We'll see if we can get our own trivia going. We're going to add that to our
I can talk to
to-do
you.
list here also.
What was your favorite trivia?
So I'm partial to the 2000s music trivia.
Definitely.
Is that because there's a lot of Joe Bros played in that one?
Actually, there
No.
is none.
None?
There's none.
But
I don't think
That
there's
doesn't
ever
seem
been
right.
any.
So the reason why it's my favorite, it was like, I think 2023, the person who did the trivia, they actually made us put the year.
Oh, wow.
Because there were so many people. And usually the songs and the artist, they're mostly easy. So they had us put the year, and that's the year we won. And the people next to us thought we cheated. And I was just
When
like,
she
no,
says
girl.
we, she means literally we.
Just the two of you.
It's literally, yeah. And I was like, nope. That 2000s is just my jam. It's just,
got
it's just a jam. We got it. So that's just my favorite. I look forward to it.
And what kind of medal do you get? And do you have a collection of them on display somewhere?
Usually you get the little plastic ones.
The nice little plastic ones, like the rubbery kind of with the
Mhm.
characters. Yeah. So do you have a stash of them? Like I feel like you would have them on display, like with all you've got to have 1 million running medals at this point, Jessa.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not on that rack, but they're on a rack not too far
They've
away
got
from
their
me.
own. Very good. Were there any other notable things that can be shared with our listeners concerning the suite and the shenanigans that happened there? I know you had mentioned you were able to get food delivered there. The Mickey Churro thing was a pretty cool experience. I know a lot of beverages are included there. They have the refrigerator stocked and restocked, as well as the freezer full of the Mickey premium ice cream bars. So were there any other things like that you would say is, an added touch that made it extra special?
To the suite. No, it was nice to go there. They had an espresso machine too.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Did they come in and use it? Because make it for you, because I wouldn't know how to use it.
Oh no, there's always like 2 or 3 of us who try to figure it out every time. Then we
It's
finally
fun
do.
to watch them.
Right. So then do we have one more sea day left? Is that what we're down to at this point?
Yes. We
The
also
last-
saw Moana the day on.
Okay. Tell us
Okay.
about that.
I'll let Jess tell you because that's her
Okay.
favorite.
Aw.
Yeah, that was my first tattoo.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I really enjoyed it. I I didn't watch anything. Like I didn't look up anything for it or anything. So it was a really good show. I liked the puppetry of it and everything. It was really neat. And we watched it from a different perspective too. We went up to the little, like the side part where there's only a couple of little seats. So I like that
Oh,
perspective up there. Yes. And
so is that
Mo
up like in the balcony area, the second floor then
yes.
of it,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah. It was a nice little area up there. And she was really good. Moana was really good. I might have cried.
Did you have the
Yeah.
smoke bubble? Do they still do those? The bubbles that come down when they pop,
We're
there's
like,
smoke in them?
oh, I
This
think
has
they
to
did.
Am I having like a Mandela
I
effect
think
right
they
now?
did.
Trying to remember.
I think they had bubbles. I don't remember if they had. We were like so far up. I don't think they came.
Yeah,
Okay.
they might not have come to where we were, so we might not have noticed that part.
Yeah.
The smoke held them down.
She was just too busy with tears in her eyes. She couldn't see by that point of the show
Exactly.
because she was just
Everything looked
loving it
hazy
too
with
much.
the tears.
Yeah.
Disney Cruise Line does do a spectacular job with their stage performances, though. They get you in all the feels, especially if you are a fan of a particular show like Jess is with Moana. So that's an extra
Yes.
special thing. So, all right. So, do we have another sea day or is it Castaway the next day?
Castaway.
All right.
Nice.
So, were you
Gonna
up
get
with the sun?
Anna?
Yes, we were up with the sun
You're up with the sun.
or the rain. It actually rained that morning.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
No, but it
Okay.
actually it made for a rainbow, so that was very nice.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So I'm assuming you had cabanas because I know this group well. And I know that part of the reason we have people traveling in concierge is to be able to submit those cabana requests to accommodate the group.
That is the only reason. The only, right?
There are a lot of amazing things about sailing concierge, but one of the best benefits, I think, is that early assistance there with the cabana booking. So, how many cabanas did you have for this group?
Two.
Yeah, two of them. Was one the big one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, this is why we say be part of our group. We're so much fun. I don't know why people are, why isn't the whole world in our group?
Tammy knows
Basically, we'll
after the
buy out
last
the island.
cruise. She knows after the last cruise, I don't like not being in the big one.
My favorite
This-
spot is in the big one. It's on the hammock in Cabana 21, just looking out at the ship.
Looking out there.
That's my favorite
Even
spot
in
on
the rain?
Castaway.
With the rainbow. Yeah.
So, where did you have lunch that day? Did you go to Cookies 2 barbecue or did you head on over to the adult beach and eat over there?
No, we went to Cookies too. Just the one right there by
Okay.
the cabanas.
Right. Yep. It's very close. Okay. Did you eat any cookies and make an ice cream cookie sandwich? Because that's my thing there.
I had a deconstructed ice cream cookie sandwich.
You put it like a little frosty in a cup.
Yes, because that way I can take it to go and it doesn't melt.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I've done that before too. I crumble the cookie up in the cup and mix it around in
Yes.
there. All right, good deal. Wow. I would love to be in a cabana right now. That
Right.
just
I know.
sounds glorious. We got rained down on our last sailing completely to the point that they told us we had to stay in the cabanas and they were sending people back
Oh,
to the
wow.
ship because of the storms in the area. So I
Oh.
feel like I need a redo. That's definitely on the
Agreed.
list of upcoming things. So for your last night on board, was there anything special you guys had planned? Did y'all gather in the suite again for one last hurrah, or what was that like?
No, we went bar hopping that night.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
now it's coming out. This is what I've been looking for because I've been with you guys. And
We
I
went
know
to the
how
bar
this
probably
goes.
every night.
Yeah,
I was
we
about to
were
say,
in a
there's one
bar at
place
every
in
night.
particular- There's one place in particular I was hoping to hear about that I haven't heard about, and it's a bar. But
And is it the Haunted Mansion parlor? Because I feel like
Sure
that's
is.
where I would be all the time.
Yeah, we
We
went
closed
there.
it out the last night.
We did.
Okay.
They kicked us out and turned all the lights on. It was like
In
Well,
case you were
magical.
wondering how it ends.
that's how usually
Yeah.
we'll close out some bar.
you got the kiss goodnight at the Haunted Mansion parlor.
Basically.
We got
The
kicked out
kick
of
in the
another
bottom
bar.
is what they got. Get on out.
Yeah, we went there. We went there multiple nights. We would pop in for like a drink for a few minutes, or I don't know if we stayed for the whole 40. I'm sure we saw the whole 45-minute show throughout the cruise.
Yes.
So when I first heard they were
Right.
putting in a Haunted Mansion parlor, I was so nervous because I love the Haunted Mansion and I was afraid it was going to be cheesy as all get out and just terrible. But they did such an incredible job. I absolutely loved it. And I think
Mhm.
that I don't think I would end up going into any other lounges because I would be in there the entire time. But so did you go anywhere else? But so I know you were in a lounge to be able to play trivia because that's where they do
Yes.
those. For our listeners who aren't familiar with that, that does take place in one of the lounges on each of the ships. So was there anywhere else that you spent some time other than in the tower
Uh,
suite?
A skipper society is really nice. That's the other bar at night
Did you guys
lounge.
trying to remember the name? Is it Sarabe? Where did they do
Oh, yeah.
the Choose Wisely show? Did you see that?
Yes.
I thought that was
We
cute,
did.
but just like a cute, silly little activity show that they have going on. Did you guys enjoy that? Yeah, it's a fun one.
It was all right.
Well, it's
It
silly.
was okay. Yeah, it's
It's
silly.
definitely silly.
We might have
It's
also been tired, and I might have just fallen asleep.
you were just was crabby. She was just crabby.
It was getting up with the sunrise. She knew morning was coming.
Sorry, Mom.
It was
if you're
almost time to
watching this.
get to wake up, and she was still out there watching these people with their silly antics on the stage. It's like, get me out of here. Was there a specific thing about the Haunted Mansion parlor that you thought was really well done? I mean, I know overall it's great, but was there an effect or an item in there that you thought, wow, they put that in here, or wow, they're doing that? I'm thinking of so they had that chair in the corner.
Yep.
That's noticeably like you see that riding through the Haunted Mansion. I love that that's an actual piece of furniture you can go sit on, and the interactive portraits that are coming to life. That's
The
somewhat
fish tank is
the fish tank. Yeah, that's like the frightening
Yeah.
fish tank that they turn to skeletons in. So it's really cool. I really enjoy it. Okay, so
the cast members there I think really made that
Yes.
this trip. The cast
So-
members that were in there every night did a phenomenal job at keeping
Yes. All of them.
character. Every single one of them.
do they still have? I know when I was on in December, they had the bottled drinks that were different colors. Did you see? Were they still on the menu?
Yeah,
I
they
bought
were.
those last time, but didn't actually drink them. I let somebody else have them, so I kind of want to try them.
Mukta, one of the other girls that were on the cruise, her and I split the chilling challenge, which actually they mix it with two of those drinks. I think the cream soda one, and I forget
There
the
was
other
a
one.
blue one and a grape one, I think, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
The cream soda one was good.
The cream
'cause I
soda
drank
one
the
was
rest of
good.
theirs.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I think it's probably one of the things I'm most looking forward to on the Disney Destiny, because they will have a Haunted Mansion parlor on that as well. I'm assuming it's going to be identical. And I think it'll make it more accessible to more people, because I think sometimes the 7-night sailings are either cost prohibited to some families, or they just don't have the time for a full 7-night cruise. So I like that the Destiny is going to have the shorter 4 and 5-night options, still allow people access to that Haunted Mansion parlor.
I
Because
think they're going to have
it's
different
like-
drinks too.
Wow.
Really?
That I read. I
Well-
think I read that in a Parks blog. I think it was going to be different drink.
Well, we will be checking that out in November then. I will go
We'll
do
make
my
a list.
research on that. Make a list. It's on the list. There are
Make
so
a
many
list,
things on
report
my
back.
Destiny list. I will do that. All right. So I guess we're back to the last morning now. Sadness, time to disembark. What did you do for that last breakfast? Did you all gather together for one last meal, or did you all just need to head off your separate ways in the morning?
Say about half of us went to breakfast.
Did
Yeah.
you go back to the main dining room, or were you up in the buffet?
The main dining room.
Main dining room, yeah. And you did the first seating, right? So that would give you
Yeah,
a
it
pretty
was early.
early breakfast time that first day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't love that.
No.
So I know why they need to do it that way, just to be able to accommodate everybody and stay organized and get them off of the ship. But that's, I think, the worst thing about main dining for me. I prefer second seating, because I don't like to leave the pool areas too early in the day while I'm on board. And then I hate having that like 6:15, or I don't know, it seems ungodly early. What is
Yeah,
it, 4 a.m.? It's like before the
I know.
sunrise. You have to be there.
After going to bed at like 2:00 in the morning.
So was that the end of the trip for you guys, or did you head back to
Yes.
Disney World for any fun after? That was the end?
That was the end. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And did you use the Disney transfers to get back also?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We
Did-
did.
How were they? Did you find them easy to use? I know you've used them before. I'm assuming you've used them many times before. So, they're located just outside the port, and they've got them lined up and ready to go. To me, it's always a very seamless experience using those to get back to the airport.
Yep. Super easy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's
Not as
exciting
fun
going
that
there,
way.
just not coming back. Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up for the ride to the port. Thumbs down on the ride back to the airport, right? All right. Any last words on any favorite moment of the trip, or your recommendations for anybody considering sailing on the Disney Treasure?
I think you should try the Disney Treasure. Just for comparison, I didn't like the Disney Wish. It is the least favorite ship in my list. But the Treasure is actually number 2 now that I've The layout is still not the best, but definitely keep an open mind if somebody, if you don't like the Wish and might like the Treasure.
Well, that's really interesting to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need you to elaborate on that a little
Okay.
bit because they really are the exact same layout. So is it
They
just the
are.
theming that you like better
I
on the Wish?
I think it's so I like the Treasure theming better than the
I'm
Wish.
sorry, I said the wrong
No, it's
thing. The
okay.
theming you like
Yeah.
better on the Treasure. Yeah.
I think the color scheme for me, and I think the theming more of they have Aladdin and the pretty blues and the greens and
Hmm.
and I just like the lounge themings too better. I just think overall the theming, and there was so many details in the carpets, the paintings or the murals that were everywhere. I don't remember seeing a lot of that on the Wish, but the Wish is also a quick 4-night trip, so I don't know if that had anything to play with it.
Okay.
But the Treasure is probably my second favorite ship on the list.
And what ship is number one?
The Fantasy.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah, the
All
Fantasy is
right.
number one.
All right. Jess J, how about you? Anything notable to close us out?
I like the Treasure more than the Wish also. It was the same thing. The Wish was just, it sounds very weird to say, but the color wise, it was bland to me. The Treasure, though,
Okay.
was just so much more beautiful. And I had a really good time. I enjoyed all the different aspects of it, all the different
Okay.
places to go. And I found that I felt like there was more different choices for activities on the Treasure. Like
And
there were
again, that
new
may be
things.
something attributed to it being a longer sailing too, so they have more for
Mm-hmm.
you to do also. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I
Uh,
think the color palette on the Wish is a lot lighter. And when I first saw the artwork, the artist renderings for the Treasure, I thought, "Oh, I don't like
mm-hmm.
that." And when I stepped on board, I was shocked in a good way because those deep blues and greens and the colors in that grand hall are just so rich and beautiful. I think they did a phenomenal job with that. So,
Yes.
well, thank you, both of you, for joining us today to tell us about your 7 night cruise on the Treasure. I hope that we have encouraged some of our listeners to join in on the fun and sail along either with our Ladies of Leisure group or just try it with your own family on the Disney Treasure and see what a week is like because it really is full of adventure. Even if you're not in a tower suite, there is still a lot of fun to be had. So, thank you for listening today. And we will be getting into our top 5 next. Today's top 5 is going to include our top 5 lounges on Disney Cruise Line. So stick around for that. In today's top 5, we are discussing our top 5 favorite lounges aboard Disney Cruise Line ships. So for my list, I went with the whole fleet of ships and picked out my top 5. Rachel, you did the whole fleet also, right? We weren't just specific with the
Well,
Treasure.
I did not do the whole fleet. I kept it to ships that I've been on.
Okay.
So I at least wanted to be able to say that I've experienced it.
Okay. Very good. Well,
Yeah.
I did not cheat. I have been on them all.
Yeah, I was
Mine
about
are
to
still ones
say
that
that
I've experienced, but
it makes no
okay.
difference.
Okay. All right. What is your number 5?
So my number 5 is pink wine and champagne. I'm not much of a pink girl, and it's really pink in there and bubbly, but it's cute, which is a word I use to describe a lot of Disney things. But I just think it's a fun little place to go to, and it's very distinct.
Pink is on my list also, so I'm gonna make that
Okay,
my number 5 because I had trouble placing, like, a couple of these. Like, 3,
okay,
4, and 5, I feel like are all kind of interchangeable for me. So I will make pink my number 5. I do enjoy a nice glass of bubbly, and it is the champagne lounge on the ship, so that does have something to do with it, but I just think it's a fun space. I love the drink that they do with the popsicle inside the glass. It's a lot of fun, and you could watch for the little bubbles that come up around the room with the elephant in them. They're really
yeah,
cute. So I just think it's a fun experience. So yeah, and Pink is located just on the Disney Dream. So the Fantasy has a champagne bar also, but it is not the same, even though they are sister ships. The Fantasy has what they call Ooh La La, and it is not in the same exact location. It has a little bit different of a setup. So I do prefer Pink to Ooh La La
yeah.
personally. All right. How about your number 4?
So my number 4 is also on the Dream, and that is Skyline. Very different feel from pink. Do you have Skyline too?
It's like we're on this we have the same list, basically. We're making the same list.
Okay, I guarantee you it's gonna get different,
Okay.
but I like Skyline. Totally different feel from Pink, very dark in there, kind of a bit more moodier, but it is also another thing, it's fun to watch just kind of the scenery change as you're sitting through there.
Right, and it is called Skyline because the screens along the wall that make it look like you're looking out a window overlooking a city changes to different cities along the world or around the world every few minutes. So it's fun to kind of get that different experience. And then you have drinks in there on the menu, from various parts of the world also. So that's a lot of fun. And so that is number 4 on my list also. And it is the same on the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy. Both ships are able to have Skyline on board. Okay, number 3.
All right, number 3, I don't know if this one would make your list. We're gonna go to the Wish for this, and this is Nightingales.
It is not on my list. I do enjoy it, and I love
Yeah.
the live piano music there, but it is not on my list. No.
All right. Well, between the live piano music and the drink presentation, is really it's neat, and they have a lot of excellent looking drinks. Even if you don't order all of them, they all look very good. But yeah, I do love the live music atmosphere in it, and even if there's not music playing, just the piano music in the background, it's one of my favorites. But it's right in the middle of the ship, so it's a lot different than Pink or Skyline, where you're kind of in a separate area of the ship that's not as many people walking by, but it's closed off. So I do like Nightingales a lot.
Okay,
All right.
so my number 3, it's kind of a cheat because it's
Okay.
not a specific lounge. It is just the concierge lounge on every ship.
Oh,
But I do prefer the Wish class ships concierge
okay.
lounges. They're just bigger and nicer and better in pretty much every way, as well as their sun decks are, as compared to the other ships. Also, of course, you need to be a concierge guest to be able to enjoy this space, but you get your beverages included. You don't have to worry about paying for every glass of bubbly that you order there. And it's going to be a much quieter, relaxed experience because it is exclusive to just the select number of guests on board who are sailing concierge. So the concierge lounge made it as my number 3.
I have not been in a concierge lounge because I've only been a guest of a concierge sailor in the past. In April, we'll be changing that. I'll be staying concierge on the Destiny. I
That'll
cannot
be
wait.
perfect.
Try and get me out of that lounge,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Well, considering you're going to be in the tower suite, try to get you
Yeah,
out of the tower suite and
yeah.
into the lounge, really, is how it's
If
going to
I'm not
go.
in one, I'm in the other. So just wait for flame trivia. All right. So my number 2 is the Cadillac Lounge on the Wonder.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and
Interesting.
honestly, for the simple fact, the Wonder was my very first Disney Cruise Line sailing, and so I think sitting in the Cadillac Lounge is really one of my first lounge experiences on a cruise ship, and going
Wow.
there, my mom and I took a little girls trip, and we sat in the Cadillac Lounge one night, listened to they had a singer and a piano player, and so it was quiet in there, it was nice, the mood was nice, and so that it made my number 2 because I just enjoyed it, and it sticks out because it was my first lounge experience on Disney Cruise Line.
Okay. That's a good one. Interesting. Fun memory. So my number 2, it's kind of not really a lounge, but it is a bar. So I'm making it count.
Okay.
So it
Cool.
is the Bon Voyage bar on the Disney Dream, that is located right in the atrium area there. What I love about it is you board the ship, it's right there, and you can sit and relax having a drink there, watching all of the exciting activity happen as families board the ship. And then throughout the rest of your stay, there's always something happening. During the evenings down in the atrium area, you'll be able to see families getting their photos taken and doing different character meet and greets. And I just think it's a fun space to take in all of the exciting energy on a ship because that's really the heart of the ship there in that atrium area.
That sounds fun. People watching and getting a beverage.
Exactly. All right, moving on to number 1. What do
My number 1, and again, it's because I base this on the ships that I've been on. I can tell you if I'd been on the Treasure or the Destiny, it would be its
you
equivalent at this point, but it is on the Wish, and it's the Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that really is a very submersive experience also. So if you're a Star Wars fan, then that's going to be a pretty amazing experience.
Yes, and they do have some very interesting drinks. They're alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, and so I know when we were on the Wish a couple of years ago, several of us met up there a few times, once that by that point, the virtual queue had ended, so it was not
Mhm.
actually that difficult to get a seat inside, but it was very immersive. I think Disney's done a great job with the theming of the Star Wars around the parks and the cruise ships, and it was just fun to sit there and feel like you were actually part of it. And but I would say what might be your number one would probably be mine had I been on those
Okay,
ships. So
it's gonna be your number 1 because, sailing on the Treasure or on the upcoming Destiny in the same location where Hyperspace Lounge is on the Disney Wish, you will find, as we discussed earlier in today's episode, the Haunted Mansion Parlor, which is not only my favorite lounge on a Disney Cruise Line ship, it is my favorite lounge on the entire planet. If Disney would just put in one of these lounges at the parks, it would just take all my money. It would just be the only place I go every time I'm in Florida because I absolutely love it. It is just so, so well done. If you haven't had the opportunity to experience it and you are a fan of the Haunted Mansion attraction at any of the parks, you should definitely go check it out because it's fantastic. And Rachel and I will be going there together this.
yeah, third location you can find me on board the ship.
Rachel's going to be so busy on this cruise. When everybody else in the suite's going to sleep, we'll go down to the Haunted Mansion Lounge,
I
the
want
parlor.
the like
That's right. That's
me
our
out.
goal. That
Yeah.
is our
All right, so that was a fun list. As you can see, there's so many different lounges, and we talked about some more in the episode too that you can find across the fleet. And they've done a great job theming them, and they've some of them have been updated since the Magic and Wonder first sale. They've kind of updated and themed some of those lounges over the years. So Disney does a fantastic job, and there's on board something different on every single ship. So definitely go out and check those out and report back to us which one is your favorite. So, for today's question of the week, we have a question about onboard credit. So, someone writes to us and asks, what is onboard credit on board a Disney cruise ship and how can I use it? So, Missy, will you start us off with that, please?
Yeah, certainly. So an onboard credit is simply exactly what it sounds. It's a credit on your onboard account that you could use towards any purchases on board the ship. So the way that you can get this credit varies depending on your situation. I know that Disney Visa was recently offering an offer for select sailings for guests who were paying with the Disney Visa card. They were able to get an onboard credit to be used on their sailing. Disney also offers an onboard credit with their onboard bookings if you book a concierge level room because their onboard bookings don't discount the 10% for concierge. So they give an onboard credit there instead. And there are also many travel agencies that will offer an onboard credit as a thank you to their guests for booking with them and entrusting them with planning their vacation. Regardless of how you get your onboard credit, or even if you just choose to kind of prepay yourself a little bit and want to give Disney a call and credit your onboard account, you'll be able to use those credits for any purchases on board, including your gratuities for the crew, for any purchases of merchandise or purchases at bars, basically anything you buy on the ship that's charged to your shipboard account, you can pay with your onboard credit.
I also note on that too that your onboard credit will not show up in your account until your ship actually physically leaves the port. So, if you show up on board and you're wondering where it is in your account, you can pull it up on the app. But once you start to sail away, that's where you'll see your onboard credit show up. So don't panic if it's not there; it will
That's
arrive.
right. It does usually, and sometimes it'll take a day or two to kind of even out, but they will use the onboard credit before they will charge your credit card. So if you do have that onboard credit coming and you still have your credit card attached to your room charges as part of your online check in, you don't need to worry. Your onboard credit will be used up first before they charge anything to the room.
If you have a question that you would like to have answered, please submit those. You can email those to a Disney Life at storybookdestinations.com or podcast at storybookdestinations.com. We'd love to hear from you there. Please send us your favorite lounges on board Disney Cruise Line or any questions about Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or any of the other Disney destinations around the world. And we would love to feature your questions here. So, for this week's tip of the week, I do have a Disney Cruise Line tip. So, your cruise is cashless. You can leave the cash at home. However, I do recommend bringing some bills with you. You will want to tip your porters that when you arrive to get on board, they will help with your luggage. It's a great idea to show some support for them and to tip them. I also like to carry some extra cash to give to my room attendant, my stateroom attendant, as well as the dining staff for exceptional service. They work extremely hard, and we very much love to show our appreciation to them. So I do like to carry some cash to give that to them on the last night on board. You can also tip bartenders with cash or anybody else that you encounter with exceptional service on board. So even though you can leave the cash at home, please bring some just to tip those around you who are helping you out. So that's all we've got for today. We'd love it if you could follow us on our socials. We have a Facebook group called A Disney Life. You can also find us on Instagram. Our handle is a Disney Life Pod. That's the same one that we have on TikTok too. We post shorts there throughout the week of the week's episode, and we'd love for you to see you there. Stop in and say hi to us. We'd appreciate that very much. And that's what we have for today. So another Disney Cruise Line episode is in the books, this time on the Disney Treasure. So Missy, thank you so much. That was a fun one having two extra guests today with us.
Yeah, that was a great time. And I love our group travels together, both you and me, and with our friends. So it's a lot of fun to have them on board here. But as you had mentioned, if anybody out there that we have not connected with yet would like to be a guest on our show, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to have you here talking about a Disney life with us.